Hello and welcome everyone. I'm your host tonight, Janos Magasrevy, and we are here live from the Bahrain International Circuit, where there's no wars going on here in this side of the virtual world. The drivers are getting ready now to begin qualifying in about 3 minutes. Yep, this is round 3 of the 2026 SimRacingHub Championship, as you can see here, from Bahrain, and we'll be going in 2 weeks to Saudi Arabia. So yeah, we are racing here even though real Formula 1 is not going on. So yeah, stay tuned and qualifying, 3 minutes to qualifying. So let's see what's going on track at the moment. We have 17 drivers, a few more to join, the usual suspects. Tonight we're going to have a maximum of 19 drivers because there is an Aston Martin serving a suspension from accumulation of license points, and that will be Steven Broderson. And from what I hear from the team, they're going to be replacing the driver after this event. Let's make sure I'm not running the background music as usual. And I think I'm fine right now. Alright, good. Okay, let's start turning on the overlays here. Getting ready, getting everything set up for qualifying. Form the drivers, that's 2 minutes to go. Alright, hello to everybody in the chat. And again, I'm gonna be all by myself tonight, as it's been since the beginning of the year. Let's see if somebody wants to volunteer and help me out for the next coming races. So far 17 drivers. Let's see who is actually missing tonight. We have Ezequiel Montero with his teammate, that will be with Mercedes. Janos Riera is going to be the lone Aston Martin for tonight. We have one more driver joining. Josh Mills is right there with Jean-Pierre Lancet, who's missing, so that will be one. And that's the only driver missing, actually. The others are the full-time drivers, except for we have Tony Mitsalis, actually, who's racing alongside his fellow Greek Sotiris Stergiou for Ferrari. We are missing Dejan Kovacic tonight. He has some issues buying the track, so he's going to be stepping out for this event. This is I think the only event during the season where drivers have to pay for the track, and I think it's worth it. The track is very good, very well detailed. That's why you see some sponsors that are not the usual ones, but yep, this is what's provided by Motorsport Racing. They made the tracks. Laser Scan is very good. We had some issues with the previous versions where the track would stutter a lot, and yeah, it wasn't just good enough to race, but this one it's just perfect. Alright, so we have 1 minute to go, and then we'll move to qualifying. Let's see, we're expecting to see 1:26. That's the fastest time in practice. It was set by Ezequiel Montero. He's at a 1:26.6. So I think Janos Riera was sandbagging a little bit. He did a 1:27.1, half a second slower than Montero, but he has a tendency to hide the time until qualifying, and that's what normally fast drivers do. So let me go and see if I can put the stream here on my side and make sure that the sound is coming in good while the service switching to qualifying. Alright, I think the sound is coming in good, and that's it. We are officially in qualifying. Here we go, the usual drivers going out first. Remember that this year we are reversing the garage order, so you're gonna see the quickest drivers joining at the back of the field, but let's make sure that that's the case, because last time we saw Riera somehow sneaking into the first. Alright, we have no specifics. Giving you some greetings here. Our #1 fan for tonight. Always that #1 icon there with the small crown. let's see who else is going to join us tonight. Will we see Ivan Georgiev? We haven't seen him in a while. We may get to see Elisa Tape. I think he's also missing tonight, doing some midterms or something related to school. So yeah, hopefully we get to see him back again for the next round, which is in Jeddah. Alright, let's sit and watch what's going on here in qualifying. Let's keep an eye on Ezequiel Montero. And obviously we have to pay attention to Argenis Riera, who's historically pole position guy on almost every track. I mean, look at this. The past 3 pole positions here have been set by Argenis Riera. If you see there, there's a gap from 2023 until 2026, and that's because we decided not to race this track a few years, just because of what I was saying before of the issues with the track. Last year we ran another version during the winter series, and yeah, that was again giving us so many technical issues. So yeah, one of the reasons why we went with this one this year. Alright, so Montero, one of the first guys to start the flying lap. Let's see. And there's Elisa Tape. Yep, I see you there. Yeah, this should be a great race. I think Montero, Mills, and Riera are definitely going to be putting a show tonight. They were very fast in the mini races on Tuesday, and also during practice. Let's see if Riera can actually remain throughout the entire race. He had some technical issues last time around in Suzuka. Something related to a Logitech plugin or something like that, and he crashed his game. So that was pretty much game over for him, and he's now 50 points behind the leaders. So needs to really climb a high mountain if he wants to win this year again. There's Montero setting the purple sector 1, 3/10 quicker than Josh Mills. Argenis Riera, and keep an eye, he's still not setting sector 1 time, so he's sitting in the garage probably. We'll look afterwards. Yep, G-Hub, that is exactly what happened. Famous Logitech G-Hub hitting another driver. It took Montero 2 rounds last year at the beginning of the season, and that really compromised his chances. So Matt Hartle, the first one to set the fastest time, but then gets immediately overtaken by Ezequiel Montero with all purple sectors. So let's go quickly with Josh Mills, about to set his lap time. Let's see where he climbs through. He goes to P2, but a full 0.8 of a second lower. And there's Argenis with the purple sector 1, 24 thousandths quicker than Ezequiel Montero. This is one of the trickiest corners here in the calendar. It's always so easy to lock up the front left. So it's one of the turns that I hated from this track. Otherwise, I think the track is very good, very fast. Especially this section here, once you nail the entry, it's just feels so good. And this one over here on the right, you gotta hug the curb there. Argenis about to set sector 2, not purple, but still I see him 1/10 of a second, almost 2/10 of a second slower than Ezequiel Montero. So let's see what he can do at the final sector 3. We'll figure out if Argenis is running lower wing settings depending on this sector, and yes, he is. I mean, look at how much time he gained in just 2 straights there. Only 1/10 lower than Ezequiel Montero right now in pole position. He's gonna be heading into the pits and put a new set of tires. The rest of the field is quite far. Even Josh Mills is very far. And for some reason, yeah, he's still not in the pits yet. We have 5 minutes to go. Matt Hartle showing in P4, so it was a strong lap by the British-Canadian driver, previously, formerly my co-host here. So I'm trying to make all these jokes that he used to make. So yeah, forgive me if I can match Hartle intensity and I guess sense of humor. Oh, one face we haven't seen this year is this one, Richard Walcott, the one Bermudan He's finally getting to start his season after missing the first 2 rounds. Hopefully we get to see more of Richard Walcott, at least until August, that's what he said. Keep attention to Richard Walcott, he's been a previous winner here a couple of years ago, so always the dark horse, I would say, on most of the races he participates. Oh, look how bumpy this track is. That was one of the things the drivers were complaining on Tuesday, that the track is really bumpy, and you can definitely see that. Look at how much it's jumping. Oh yes, that's something I should clarify. There is a technical issue with this track related to the DRS. It only works in the race session, so we're seeing qualifying with the full flap, not deployed. So yeah, cars are not going as fast as they could, but well, it's a level playing field. I guess everybody has the same problem, and yeah, this is how it used to be before the DRS, so don't forget about that. Alright, so here's Montero about to start another flyer. Let's see if Rear is coming out of the pits, and Mills is also on his outlap. So the first one is going to be Montero. Let's see what Montero can do. He had the fastest sector once. Actually, the second fastest, because our Janis Riera was able to get it purple last time around. Oh, that's 1/10 slower. It's not gonna, most likely not gonna be an improvement for Montero, but who knows, maybe he can improve on sector 3, which is where Riera took some time out of him. And look at 127.1, so he's still far from his best time in practice. A full 7/10 of a second slower. Purple sector to 2/10 quicker, so yeah, this is looking like a good lap already for Montero. He just couldn't put together sector 1, but it should be an improvement, maybe getting under the 127s and into the high 29s. Oh, that was a little bit sloppy there on the last turn. Oh, he's aborting the lap. Montero is aborting the lap. He wants to go and get a new set of tires and maybe go out again. He still has some time. Let's see, Riera. Who else is going to start first? Actually, the first one with time. Yeah, here it is. 8/10 lower, so definitely not going to be the lap for Josh Mills, but he can't go in the pits, otherwise he won't have any time to start another lap. He has to stay out and go again. So let's go with let's make sure he doesn't dive into the pit. Oh, he's going into the pit, so that's it for Josh Mills. It's not gonna be a pole position contender, but he's still 8/10 lower than the others. But let's go with our Janis Riera, our pole guy. Almost 2/10 lower here. He has again has the fastest sector 1, so not the best start for this lap. Janis Riera. He has 1/10 to make. He had a relatively slow sector 2. Oh, definitely not gonna make it with that one. All right, so Montero actually looking good now. These guys are gonna have to recharge the ERS for the remaining of this lap. And we'll see if Riera dives into the pits or just continues out. Maybe he didn't put enough fuel, but we'll find out soon. But advantage so far for Ezequiel Montero. We have 20th open in his pits. I guess he didn't get the memo. Here. I probably missed it, but yeah, Janis slightly slower in sector 1. We got the checker flag already. Let's see if Montero is out. Slightly slower sector 1, so these two are going to be competing for pole position, but there's traffic ahead of Montero. That could compromise his lap. I see a yellow TCM on a Williams. If I'm not mistaken, that's probably Matt Harto. And Harto is in P4, so I'm not sure if Harto's going to be moving out of the way. He also looks to be on a flying lap. Oh, there's Argenis Riera is not going to finish this lap, from what I can tell. So yeah, this will be pole position for Ezequiel Montero. Unless something crazy happens and somebody can pull a lap time from the rear, which I don't know who's going to be able to do that, given that these two are almost a full second ahead of the rest of the field. So it's going to be another Ezequiel Montero and Argenis Riera show, and perhaps we're going to see Josh Mills trying to sneak in there as usual. Good lap time from Montero. He did improve and he got to the 127s one, not actually breaking into the 26s, but definitely a good job here for the Argentinian driver Ezequiel Montero, also former pole man for many seasons. This guy, Montero and Riera, these two guys are just, if you look at the statistics, I have to check them at one point, but they take easily, I would say easily, they take about 80% of the pole positions throughout the 10 seasons that we've raced so far. Alright, so there you go, your pole sitting driver Ezequiel Montero will go through the starting grid shortly. See where they're coming back into the pits at this point. So yeah, well, they go to the pits. We're still getting Jeff join up. Okay, let's see. Let's show up here the qualifying results. So in pole position we have Ezequiel Montero, P2 for Argenis Riera in the Aston Martin, an unusual starting position for Argenis Riera. We have Matt Harto in P3. He managed to sneak in past Josh Mills, who's in P4. Wow, that is some show here by Matt Harto. And right there is Richard Walcott. So Williams is looking very strong tonight. So Walcott in P5. Jean-Pierre Lalancette quietly in P6. The two McLarens of Juan Orrego in P7 and Aaron Ravi in P8. Darren Fisher in P9 for Sauber, and Alejandro Sanabria rounds the top 10 way down there for Mercedes. So the second half of the grid is led by Juan del Castillo in P11 for Haas. We have Sotiris Stergiou for Ferrari in P12. The other Haas for Jacobo Cardoso returning after missing Suzuka, he's in P13. Glenn Cooper, the first of the Alpines, he's in P14. What is going on with Glenn Cooper? And Otto Acosta down there in P19. So something's going on with Williams in this race. And we have P15 for Bill Worrell, for the Racing Bulls, Visa Cash App Credit Card Scam team. Kick Sauber for Sean Higgins in P16. Tony Mitsales replacing Dejan Kovacic, he's in P17, and Jas Whitfield, the last guy to set a lap time tonight, he's in P18, right ahead of Otto Acosta, who I assume had some sort of crash or something that didn't allow him to finish the lap. Alright, that was a mouthful. Let's see who ended up escaping and going back on track. Okay, looks like everybody was clean, and with that, let's move to the next session. There we go. Alright, so while the guys are there setting up for the start of the race, let me see. Let me put a screen here. Look at this beautiful sunset here in Bahrain. Look at that. I mean, this is why you have to pay for tracks like this. I mean, you don't get to you don't get this type of lighting on those free tracks that we have. But yeah, this is just gorgeous. All right, enough of that. Let's see if I can show you guys the standings. All right, let's see. We have, here it is, the standings, there we go. Okay, so leading the championship by virtue of, I guess, being the first to get a win this season, is Ezequiel Montero, who's tied in points with Josh Mills. They both have 43 points, they both have a victory, and they both have a second place finish, so he can't get any more tighter than that, so that's the only reason why Ezequiel is first, just because he won first. Juan Orrego, look at Juan Orrego in P3, also tied with Glyn Cooper with 22 points, and they both have the exact same numbers. Alejandro Sanabria is in P5 with 21 points for Mercedes. Jean-Pierre Lalancet really moved up after a podium finish in Suzuka, he's in P6. P7 to OTTO Acosta with 8 points. P8 for Sean Higgins in the Sauber, also with 8 points. Sotiris Sterius, the first Ferrari here in the list, he's in P9, and Jacobo Cardoso in P10. So we have a few drivers with the same amount of points. Let me turn on the music for this. I have to run the music at least once. Alright, let's quickly switch to the team standings. Here we go. So leading the championship, this one is clear. It's Mercedes-AMG Petronas. They have 64 points in 2 rounds. That's a great start for Mercedes, defending champion team, by the way. Second, we have the Oracle Red Bull Racing with 58 points, just slightly behind. I mean, they also scored 40 points in the last round. In third, we have Alpine. They are, 28 points behind Red Bull, and it looks like they're gonna be having some work to do tonight after that terrible qualifying. In P4 we have McLaren, P5 for Stake F1 Team Kick Sauber, P6 for the Scuderia Ferrari. In 7th we have the MoneyGram Haas F1 team. In 8th we have Visa Cash App Racing Bull F1 Team Credit Card Scam Car. And in P9 we have Williams Racing with only 2 points, but I get the feeling that this is gonna go much higher after this round, having seen Matt Harto in 3rd and Richard Walcott in 5th place. So if they can keep the same positions at the end, that would be great. And last right there you see Aston Martin with 0 points, and that includes Janis Riera as part of this. So again, I'm gonna say it again, I know I said it in Japan, but this is probably gonna be the last time we see Aston Martin at the bottom of the table. Alright, so the cars are preparing for what it is, the start of the race. They are practicing their pit stops, their starts, and yeah, everything, you know, loading the car with fuel and all of that. So while they do that, I'm gonna be setting up the starting grid before I forget. Otherwise, we're gonna see some craziness happening at the start. There's no grid penalties being applied for this race. Let's set this up. So we have about 1 minute to go before we have to move to the race session. Hopefully everything goes smoothly this time around, unlike it happened in Australia where we had the server crash, and also we had some delays by you. Yes, you, Elisa Tape, who's watching this. We had to wait you a little bit the last time around because of some force feedback issues. Hopefully you got those resolved, and we're gonna see you in full strength for the Jeddah Grand Prix. 36 seconds, 19 cars. It's gonna be interesting at the start. Gotta remember 2 things. I gotta remember to set the starting order and also to rewind the tape for the replay of the start, and also disable the music. See, I feel like an octopus here doing, you know, hitting all these buttons and, and keys, and hopefully remember everything. So I wonder how many people do we have here in the chat. So far I only see no specifics, and I also see Elisa Tape. So yep, warm-up is over, everything is going according to the plan. It's time to tell the drivers the usual. Good luck, everyone. Somebody's calling my name. Let's see what's going on. That's Jean-Pierre Lancette, I wonder. Wrong position, he's saying. Oh yeah, that's right, that's right. There we go. There we go. All right, yeah, I set up the wrong grid by mistake. So yeah, good catch from Jean-Pierre. We were gonna see Argenis Rivera in pole position, so I guess the game is used to that, but didn't say anything. All right, so we are good to go. Wishing everybody good luck, and let's move to the race. Alright, let me get the thumbnail going on here while I set everything up. So we have the starting order set. And here we go. Okay, so let's go on board with Ezequiel Montero. Our drivers are waiting to go on track at 15 seconds. There we go. Not sure if we're gonna be able to see the lights from here. No. I could see, let me see, maybe we can watch the start from the back of the grid. Oh, I'll just try to set the camera here. Alright, so here we go. Let's go through the starting order once again. So again, leading the field, we have Ezequiel Montero for Mercedes alongside Argenis Rivera in P2. P3 for Matt Harto. In P4 we have Josh Mills for Red Bull. P5 for the one Bermudan, Richard Walcott, Jean-Pierre Lancette in P6 for Red Bull, and the two McLarens of Juan Orrego and Aaron Rabi for P7 and 8. In P9 we have Darren Fisher for the Kick Sauber team, Alejandro Sanabria in P10 for Mercedes, Juan Del Castillo in P11 for Haas, and Sotiris Stergiou for Ferrari in P12. Jacobo Cardoso in P13 for Haas, Glenn Cooper in P14 for Alpine, Bill Worrell for the Racing Bulls in P15, and Sean Higgins in P16 for Sauber. P17 for Tony Mitsales in the other Ferrari, substituting for Dejan Kovacic. P18 for Jas Whitfield, he's substituting for Elise Tape in P18. And last on the grid we have OTTO Acosta in P19, looking for a great start for Otto Acosta this race around. Let's see how I can pull it off and get into the points. Almost from the back of the grid, well, essentially at the end of the grid. Okay, so the drivers are almost there. There's Ezequiel Montero warming up the tires. I can see him with the mediums, but you guys know that the tires are synchronized probably after lap 1, so let's not trust what we're seeing right now. Although the mediums are probably the compound of choice. I forgot to mention that for this race we have the hardest compounds available, C1, C2 and C3. And we know these guys like the C2 compound from what we saw in Suzuka 2 weeks ago. Okay, let's see if I can put a camera where we can watch the starting lights as well. It's gonna be tricky, but I'll try. Here we go. We'll watch it like that. Okay, so everybody getting there. We have a few more drivers lining up at the end of the grid. And we're gonna have the countdown shortly, hopefully. We had some issues with this. There we go. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are racing in Bahrain with Ezekiel. Oh, we have a penalty for Matt Harto, so he jumped the start. Wow, that's gonna really hurt his chances after having a great qualifying. That's too bad for Harto, but look at the gap already by Ezekiel Montero. Wow. Josh Mills on the inside trying to pass Janos Riera. That was, well, positions are about the same, at least at the start. And I don't see cars dropping down the order. We have Ora Costa made up at 1 position, so we'll look at this chart in a moment. Positions gain and loss. Hopefully this shows up. There we go. Alright, so no major changes. I guess the biggest loser was Sean Higgins. He just went straight down to the last running car in P19. Few drivers gained 2 positions. Aaron Fisher had a great start, and so did Del Castillo. So yeah, no major changes in the start. So we'll look at the replay later on. We'll look at from Higgins' point of view to see what happened to him. So far, I mean, we have a relatively comfortable advantage here for Ezekiel Montero, already 1.2 seconds ahead of Janos Riera in the opening lap. So Montero has great pace starting this race. So there's Matt Harto serving his, I guess it's going to be a hopefully not a stop and go, because that's going to kill his chances. Let's see what this is about, if it's a stop and go or a drive-through penalty. Looks like it's a drive-through. Yeah, just a drive-through, so he didn't lose as much time as possible, but that definitely puts Harto at the back of the field. And what? Walcott is, oh my god, this is going south very quickly for Williams. After starting in P3 and P5, and now they're both at the end of the field. Oh wow, that was completely unexpected. So Mills has the purple sector 1. Wow, what a shame for Williams. I guess was commentator's curse as usual. Okay, let's see, what fights do we have going on? We have one Del Castillo. Well, look at this train of cars here. Oh my, I can't keep count on that. Look at that. Wow, let's see, where can we go on board with? Let's go with, I guess the last car on this train is probably Bill. Bill Worrell. So we have about, what, 6 or 7 cars fighting for the same positions. Something's going on with Glenn Cooper. We have Harto overtaking him. Yeah, Glenn is not going as quick as possible, I guess. But look at Acosta, already in P12, so he started from P19 and in 3 laps he's made up 6 positions. It's a great start for... Oh, there's our friend Panzer Faust. Greetings, Panzer Faust. So Acosta in P12, I guess he managed to avoid all the incidents he tends to encounter during the starts of the race. Up front, it's the same, about 1.5 seconds gap between Montero and Janos Riera. But Josh Mills is slowly crawling and catching Janos Riera in the Aston Martin. Let's go back to this train of cars again, but I guess Worrell is falling behind slightly. And now we go with Higgins, who's climbing his way. Let's see if we can find a replay of the start and see what happened to Sean Higgins. Let's go forward and watch this replay of the start from Higgins' perspective. Okay, so there's let's see. Okay, so some contact at the front. We got overtaken. See if something happening to turn 1. And this is our very fast drone camera that we have at SimRacingHub. Well, I don't see anything bad in particular. It just got a slow getaway. Yep, nothing out of the ordinary there aside from the slow getaway. So let's go back live. No, this is not the official F1 live stream, even though the cars look very good. But no, this is actually our Factor 2. And we are the SimRacingHub Racing League. An issue with your helmet. Maybe the issue was that I forgot. But yeah, I will be issuing a mod update probably after this round with some driver lineup changes, as I mentioned at the beginning. I heard the rumor that Aston Martin has reached out again to Ricardo Sr. And we may get to see him replacing Broderson after some incidents in Tuesday practice. Yep. Oh, we have a spinning car. That's Acosta. Acosta there. Let's see if we can find the replay very quickly. Acosta. Losing it on this corner. Acosta. I don't even know if I'm actually on a replay. I wish we had one button configured for these cameras, but the game hasn't given us the chance to do this. Oh, okay, so there's some shenanigans at the front. I wonder if that had anything to do with Acosta. I'm not on that replay, that's why it's not showing anything. Okay, so yep. Back up front, there's let's see, where do we have a fight going on? These guys are just neck and neck, battle for 13th spot. These guys are fighting for 0 points. Somebody knocked over the pole there at the apex. Wow, look how close Harto is getting to Jazz Whitfield. Oh, no contact, please. Here we go, we got the DRS open, everybody has the DRS open. Best lap, wow. Mills is catching Argenis Riera. Alright, so we have a three-way fight for the lead so far. 5/10, only 5/10 separate Ezequiel Montero and Argenis Riera, and there's Josh Mills also behind. So what's going on with Montero? Montero is going slow. Montero is... Oh, no. Wow, what did you do there, Argenis? Well, this is just gonna make the race more interesting, I suppose. Oh no, but now look who's leading the race. Josh Mills. Taking advantage of these two guys taking each other out. Wow. And now he's leading comfortable 4.5 seconds. And there's Jean-Pierre Lancet. So yeah, advantage Red Bull Racing. There we go. P1 and P2 for Red Bull. But yeah, that was... I guess that was a mistake there from Argenis Riera, taking the inside and not avoiding Ezequiel Montero. That's a classic spin. So Montero is probably fuming right now. I'm sure Janis Riera let him by again, but now he's not leading the race. The two Red Bulls are with the soft tires, so maybe that's why they are so fast right now. Let's see how long those tires are gonna last. They are the sweet C3 compound, not the tire of choice from what I heard at the beginning of the season. I feel like Kimi Raikkonen right now. I totally forgot to bring my water. I gotta go back to the kitchen at some point and get some water. This is gonna be a long race, only lap 8 of 57 laps. If only I had another partner here doing some of the talking, I wouldn't get so thirsty, but yeah. Alright, so let's go with the 1v1 battle. Because we have a fight right now for third. There's Montero already chasing Jean-Pierre Lalancette. Let's see how this ends. We know it's so hard to pass Jean-Pierre Lalancette, and he's right there in P2, moving quickly after that incident between Riera and Montero. Juan Orrego making the pass on Juan Del Castro. Oh, no, just showing his car, but couldn't make the pass. So Sanabria still there in P10. So he had a great start of the season, but after that, things are going downhill for Sanabria. I wonder if Mercedes is going to give me a call and maybe take over this car. So far, I can tell you that's not going to happen. Wow, look at these cars defending Sanabria. Let's go on board with Sanabria. It's a great view. Everybody has DRS, so when everybody has a DRS, it's hard to make a pass. Oh! Sliding Juan Orrego. I think this is probably the closest fight that we have. Yep. A three-way fight here for 8th. These two guys are slowing down Alejandro Sanabria, so he didn't have the best of starts. So what is the current surprise? We have, well, the two Hasses are there, P7 and P8, so that's a great start of the race for the Haas team. And the two Ferraris are out of the points, at least for now. Alright, I'm going to need a minute here. Alright, so this is still going on. Three-way fight for A, but Rego goes wide. And now he's gonna lose all of those positions. I mean, look how quickly everybody caught up to him. go on board Costa. He's in P12. Now he has to make a move on all these cars. What a great race we're watching from this point of view. Now P10 still. Alejandro Zanabria, somehow he remains there. Wow, look at all those cars fighting for the same position. They're catching Juan del Castillo. I don't even know who to show. I guess let's go with Harto. Look at ahead. I mean, all those cars. We have Acosta, we have Sean Higgins, Alejandro Zanabria, Juan Orrego, and shortly they're gonna join. Oh, somebody making a pass so easily there. Wonder what happened with Acosta that let him by. We'll find out later, I suppose. Again, now it's Acosta in P13, Hart in 12, Sean Higgins is in P11, Zanabria in P10, Juan Orrego, and they have finally joined the fight here for P8. There's Orrego right behind the Haas of Juan del Castillo. So beyond del Castillo, we have Cardoso in 7th, who's having a lonely race so far, 3 seconds in between. And then Fisher, who's 10 seconds behind Aaron Rabi. So there's a few lonely races, and we forgot this one, but Ezequiel Montero managed to make the pass on Jean-Pierre Lalancet, and now Argenis Riera is chasing the French-Canadian for Red Bull. Gotta pay attention to the actual tower on the left. Yes, he's cycling. Maybe 10 to let me put this down to 15 seconds. Alright, so here we have Argenis Riera chasing to get back to the podium after that incident with Ezequiel Montero. Let's see if the stewards have some work to do after that incident. But Mills, I mean, look at Mills. He's managed to build a gap already. He's 6.4 seconds ahead, well now 6 seconds ahead of Ezequiel Montero, who had to deal with traffic. And there's Riera making the pass on the inside. Let's see if Jean-Pierre is gonna do. Oh, okay, he's gonna be tricky. Wow, look at Jean-Pierre regaining that position again. He's still in the podium so far, but that's not gonna be easy. Riera is going to be attacking him all the way. Oh my god, side by side. There's Argenis Riera making the pass on Jean-Pierre Lalancet, and now we're setting the usual order here. Let's keep an eye on the lap times. Now it's Ezequiel Montero and Argenis Riera have some relatively clean air ahead. So we started with 6.5 seconds, now it's up to 7, so the gap actually went up. Let's go back to this lovely fight that we're watching here between all these cars. Penalty for Sean Higgins. Let's see if we can look what happened. Sean Higgins. He's going into the pits. It's probably had to do with speeding. Let's keep an eye on the. Let's see. Let me rewind. Let's see. He came into the pit. Oh yeah, definitely 20 kilometers an hour. Faster than he should. So that's a speeding in the pit lane penalty for Sean Higgins. There's a few fights going on. So we have the two Ferraris chasing former Ferrari driver Bill Worrell in the Racing Bulls. Ferrari today is not Italian, it's actually Greek. So the two drivers driving tonight for the Italian team are the duo of Tony Mitsalis and Sotiris Stergiou, both from Greece, racing at 4 a.m. There's Sotiris making the pass on his teammate, and now he's gonna have an attempt at Bill Worrell, who's not easy to overtake, I'll tell you that. You can be 2 or 3 seconds faster than Bill, but he makes that car very, very wide. Okay, so up front, let's see if there's any changes. Again, we have this fight going on for P10s now. The Harta got beyond this group and is now chasing into P8. So it's now a 3-way fight. It used to be a 6-way fight for P8. Juan Orrego right there chasing Jacobo Cardoso. So Orrego made a couple of spots. I still don't know why Acosta let Harto by a few laps ago. I got all the live timing here lighting up in red. So we have Sotiris Terju right behind Bill Worrell. So yeah, only one DNF so far is for Glyn Cooper. That was surprising. He's had a bad qualifying. I'm not sure if it had to do with the track roughness or yeah. It was a difficult one, this one. I tell you that with all the bumpiness. But there's the DRS open and nothing else to defend for Bill Worrell. But look, I mean, he's putting his car inside and yep, no issues there for Bill Worrell. And the next one's gonna be Tony Mitsales, but he's under attack from the one Bermudan, Richard Walcott, who had a great qualifying. But something happened for him at the beginning, so let's see. Actually, since there's a replay, let me see if we can catch what happened to Richard Walcott. Probably have to scroll. Oh, not even. This did not work as usual. We'll figure that out later on. Leading the race, we have Josh Mills. He set 131.9 on his last lap. And Ezekiel Montero did a 131.3. Argenis Riera did a 131.0. So Riera is the quickest of the three cars up front. So these gaps are going to start shrinking as we go through the laps. But I guess the pit window is coming soon. We have still Josh Mills with the soft tire. I expect him to be pitting at least within the next maybe 3 laps. Really pushing the life out of the mediums, out of the soft, sorry. And here's Aaron Rabi chasing Jean-Pierre Lalancette. So Aaron Rabi sees he showed really great pace in the Winter Series, but had to miss the last round. Otherwise, he would have won the Winter Series. So yeah, he's driving for McLaren this season, even though he's a Ferrari fan. So don't ask me why, but yeah, he's there with McLaren alongside Juan Orrego. So this one is gonna get heated soon. What else we have? We have Tony Mitsales at the back of Bill Worrell. Again, a 3-way fight for 0 points for P14. DRS open for both cars. So let's see, Bill's gonna have to do some defending, but let's go again up front because there's some movement in the pits. There's Josh Mills, the 2 Red Bulls pitted almost at the same time, so double stacking almost. So I don't know if the tires are synchronized, but I still see Josh Mills with the red tires. And where's Jean-Pierre Lalancette dropping down the order? He's in P9. Jean-Pierre, let's see, no traffic. He managed to go sneak past by Alejandro Sanabria. That was well timed there. Otherwise, that was going to be probably game over for Jean-Pierre Lalancette if he gets stuck behind the traffic. Alright, so retaking the lead of the race, we have Ezekiel Montero. So 4 seconds ahead of Argenis Riera. And these two are probably pitting soon, even though they have the medium compound. So let's see, so far we have only the two Red Bulls with pits, and then we have 2 pit stops already from Sean Higgins, and 1 had to do with a penalty. Let's go back here. So we have another one here. We have Costa right behind Alejandro Sanabria. This is for the last point scoring position. Acosta is currently in Mats Hartel's favorite position. P11. There we go. So we have Sanabria heading into the pits, and I suppose, well, he's on soft compound, so yep. I'm actually surprised of how long they managed to extend the tire life, especially with the soft. And this track has a tendency to shoe at least the front left. But yeah, they're making good life out of these tires. Fastest lap by Josh Mills, a 1:30.3. It's a fresh set of soft. No, now it's synchronized. It's running the mediums with C2 compound. So fresh rubber. I mean, I guess the undercut is gonna make the job here, and he probably gonna be extending his lead after the pit rotation. So Mills is looking strong. He had a strong outing in Suzuka last time around. He won the race. So yep, Mills looking very strong for the Drivers' Championship this year, especially with our Janis Riera not showing up basically the first race and retiring in the second. So there's Ezequiel Montero in the pits. Let's see where he comes out. Right now in P4. Aaron Rabbit right there in P2. Alright, so it's critical for Montero to come out of, ahead of traffic. That's great, because there was a long train of cars right behind. So there's Lalancet, who pitted a few laps ago, and now he's finding himself behind Matt Hartel. Good luck with this one. We have another car in the pits as the Swiss fish, Darren Fisher, coming out. I don't know if he has the mediums or he's synchronizing, but he's out there in P15. So Tony Mitsalis still chasing Bill World. I mean, I tell you, Bill is very hard to overtake. Tony, even though he has DRS, I mean, he's still unable to make the pass. Maybe he needs to recharge the ERS and make a double move on the main straight. That's probably the only place that's easier to pass. You can easily overshoot the braking spot, and then you're pretty much at the defense for the next few turns. So fastest car on track by a lot is Josh Mills. He's at a 1:29.8. Now making sure he takes P2 again, and he's waiting for Argenis Riera to head into the pits. So Mills is 8.7 seconds behind the leader. So yeah, after Riera pits, he's gonna take the lead again, and he's gonna be well ahead of the rest. Undercut really doing the job tonight. So I can tell Mills has a lot of fans here in the chat. Pretty much all of them are rooting for Mills. I see a couple of Richard Walcotts. But yeah, it looks like he's definitely gonna be the winner of tonight's race. I could have jinxed it right now, but we'll see. We'll see. And I don't think it comes down to that incident that Riera and Montero had early on. I mean, he's genuinely fast tonight. You can see the lap times. Just purple all the time. Alright, let's see who else do we have. The gaps are now starting to spread a little bit after the pit rotation. So Lalancet, yep, Lalancet is there chasing Juan Orrego. And I'm glad that Lalancet didn't have to face OTTO Acosta, and now there's slightly some space between them. I'm happy to see that, but we'll see what happens between Juan Orrego and Jean-Pierre Lalancet in a few moments. It's setting up to be a fight for P5. There's Harto being chased by Juan Orrego. Let me see if I can switch some cameras for you guys. It's a cool view here of the rear wing. Look at the amount of sparks going on the straight. Yeah, Orrego is right there, and that's just helping Jean-Pierre Lalancette. Let's put another camera right. All these external cameras, I don't know where we have them, but yeah, they are there. Hello to Wildan11, just joining us. So this is lap 20 of 57 from the Bahrain International Circuit. We are sticking to the original calendar. Again, there are no wars in this virtual championship, so no issues for us. And we're going to be racing in 2 weeks from the other side of the of the region, I guess, in Jeddah. So only one DNF tonight. We have Glenn Cooper. We'll find out what happened. Saying hello here to Keoyo. What hole? That's the translation from Spanish. That's an interesting name for you. Okay, Mills taking down some more time from Argenis Riera. He's 7.5 seconds clear. However, this is I'm starting to suspect that Riera might be shooting for a one-stopper. We're approaching the halfway point, and he started with the medium, so maybe we'll get to see Argenis Riera switching to the hard compound. And I'm also wondering if Mills can pull a one-stopper with a soft compound set and also a medium. Maybe that's possible. I mean, from how long they managed to extend the life of the soft, wouldn't surprise me if they can make these tires last to the end. Again, let's go with this three-way fight for P4. We actually missed the pass. Let me see if I can rewind and watch this, because Lalancette was able to pass Juan Orrego, and there it is. Let's see how this happened. It's a replay here of the overtake from Jean-Pierre Lalancette. Had a wiggle there on the exit. Even with DRS, Lalancette right behind. No contact. Goes on the inside. Yep, that was a clean pass by Jean-Pierre Lalancette, and now he's probably chasing. Oh, not even chasing, he's already done with Matt Hartel. So Lalancette already in P4. Let's watch that from on board the car. That happened very quickly. So Lalancette being efficient tonight, passing 2 cars in a matter of a few turns. Well, it's good to see Matt Hartel at least climbing up to where, oh, some lag there, climbing up to where he actually almost started the race, starting P3, so P5 is not too bad, considering the guys up front are Riera, Mills, and Montero. So, yep, here's where Lalancette decided to make the pass. There's another DRS zone. I think there's like 4 DRS zones in this track. Way too many, 4 too many, in my opinion. And that's how you got to that point. Let's see who else we have. We have Orrego. Not really catching Matt Hartel so far. And then there's another one that towards the back. There's a few fights going on actually. We have a fight for P13 from Sanabria and Jacobo Cardoso. Let me see if these two have pitted already. Yep, they did. Cardoso 1 stop and Sanabria also 1 stop. Both driving with the hard compound. And then there's one here for Del Castillo chasing Darren Fisher for the last point. There's a Swiss fish driving the green, unmissable green card. Green car, sorry. I always confuse this with the actual green card. There we go. We have Argenis Riera in the pits. I see the white set. That's the hard compound, and he's definitely going for a one-stopper, Argenis Riera. So if he's on a different strategy compared to Montero and Josh Mills, then this is going to be interesting at the end. The delta here seems to be like maybe 20 seconds. It's a long pit lane. So yeah, Riera comes out in the podium still. He's 17 seconds behind Josh Mills in the lead of the race. Oh boy, I definitely need the water. Oh. Alright, we're approaching the halfway point of the race, lap 23 of 57. Anything else? Okay, so we have Del Castillo in the pit, so that's it for that fight for P10. He's out there with the one hard compound. No traffic in sight, that's great to see for him. And meanwhile, Bill Worrell is still there in P13. But where's Tony? Tony is in P16. So let's have a look at the actual pits. Tony Mitsalis, I see a one pit stop, and Bill Worrell has yet to pit. This is becoming a classic now from Bill Worrell. He's extending life out of each compound, trying to make one stop in every race. But I don't know if this is paying off. He's gonna be overtaken by a lot of people after he pits. Fastest lap of the race belongs to Ezequiel Montero at 129.5. So he's lapping, last lap around it was 6/10 quicker than Josh Mills. So this gap's gonna start shrinking. And Montero is gonna look to get the lead of the race again after that incident with Argenis Riera. Argenis Riera is now quietly in P3. He's 17 seconds behind Josh Mills, but look at the tire compound he's running. I mean, he's definitely saving the tires for what is going to be a very, very long stint. The last thing you want to do if you're planning for a one-stopper is to flat spot it, especially around that, I think it's turn 10, that sharp turn that they went through right now. If you flat spot it there, then it's going to be a painful and long race. And then you compound to that the track vibrations and the bumpiness. So yeah, not enjoyable, I tell you that. Okay, what else do we have? We have Jacobo Cardoso. Actually, his birthday was yesterday, so wishing happy birthday to Jacobo Cardoso. Let's see if the SimRacing gods are gonna give him at least 1 point. He was very, very strong on Tuesday. Actually won, I think he won one of the mini races. And funny enough, one of the winners in one of the 3 mini races was OWT Acosta, #1 hater of the mini races, and he finally wins a mini race. That was interesting to see on Tuesday. So the gap ahead is under 6 seconds now. So Mills had a comfortable lead after the rotation, but so far Ezequiel Montero has managed to take 2 seconds out of the Red Bull driver. So Higgins still running. He's 1 lap behind. The only car a lap down. That's somewhat unusual to see here. Normally we see cars are getting lapped much quicker, but yeah, this is a long lap, so don't expect to see the same as it was the case in Suzuka, where they lapped like all the way up to like P5 or so. 6.5 seconds, so the gap is a little bit extended now between Mills and Montero. Keeping an eye as well on the gap between Argenis Riera and Ezequiel Montero. It's 11 seconds between the two. And they were right next to each other at the beginning, so yeah, I don't know if Riera is struggling to get the heat, put some heat on this hard compound. I mean, remember, this is a night race, by the way. The track surface is not the usual, scorching 50 degrees Celsius. They're dealing with a much cooler track, and I guess Riera tends to struggle with this. Speaking of struggling, let's look at the previous winners here, if it shows. There we go. So last time around in 2023 we had Corey Mackey winning this race. In 22 it was Riera, and he did the same in 21. Ezequiel Montero won in 2020 when we were just getting to know what COVID-19 was about. And before that, look at that, Richard Walcott in 2019. Richard Walcott tonight had a decent qualifying and then had to somehow climbed from the back of the field. We'll know later what happened to him, if he can let us know before the end of the stream. So finally Bill Worrell makes his pit stop. He's gonna switch, can't switch to another set of hard, well actually he already changed the tires, so yeah, clearly a C1 set is gonna go to the end with that. Lap 27, oh look at Bill, right, oh no, contact immediately. He's having contact with, was that Jas Whitfield maybe? We'll look at the replay right now. So here's a fast drone camera, but it's not synchronizing the tire, of course. Let's see what happened to Bill coming out of the pits. So that's the Haas off. I think that's Juan del Castillo. Oh yeah, slightly touch. No wheel touch, but yep, send him the other way. Alright, blue flags there for Bill Worrell, and there's Juan Orrego pitting. It's in P7. He's gonna come out right behind the train of cars, so that was bad timing there by the McLaren team. It's down to P10 right now, but just ahead of Alejandro Sanabria in the other Mercedes. Alright, so now Orrego has some clean air ahead, and he's gonna have to catch again Matt Hartle in P9. Right there. Hartle, look at Hartle right behind Darren Fisher and Richard Walcott. Hartle giving us a show tonight, and remember, Hartle is running on an old desk, an old Logitech steering wheel. He's wrapped around in a rope, making sure the chair doesn't move back when after he brakes. So yeah, it's very rudimentary the setup that Matt Hartle has. But yep, I mean that tells you it's not all about the hardware. You gotta have some hands to pull some driving. Wow, look at how close Hartle is behind the Swiss fish. Doesn't help that Fisher has the DRS from Walcott right ahead. Alright, I thought there was a DRS zone in this straight, but apparently there's not. Let's see what happens now. Hartle had a great exit. It's definitely gonna be a pass here by Matt Hartle right next to Darren Fisher. Now he's gonna dive bomb his teammate into turn 1. I guess Walcott is gonna play some defense. Yeah, not letting him by that easily. Richard Walcott, let's see if these two Williams kill each other. No, Walcott just lost another position just like that. Wow, dropping 2 places in 1 corner by Richard Walcott. They're running this different strategies. I mean, Walcott has yet to pit. Well, that explains it. I mean, he's losing performance, really driving the hell out of this C1 compound, but we are officially beyond halfway point. Let's go back to these two. Let's see what else we have. Riera is now 12 seconds behind Ezequiel Montero, and Ezequiel Montero is only 5 seconds behind Josh Mills, so he's slowly catching Josh Mills. We'll see what happens towards the end. If both drivers are actually on a 2-stopper, which I don't believe they are just extending the life out of the tires. I think, if I remember correctly, Montero started with the medium, so that means he's probably gonna have to pit again. He has to pit again, because he hasn't changed the compound, but that's not the case for Josh Mills. He started with the soft, and he's running the mediums right now. Right, giving it some airtime. Now we have Walcott with worn tires attacking Darren Fisher on relatively fresh mediums. So Richard Walcott doing what he does best, driving those tires to the end. Gonna have a few more chances, but Walcott is probably gonna be pitting soon and switching to the mediums. If he had a spin at the beginning of the race, I mean, he's been nursing this one for a while, and the vibrations must be insane. can really drive you crazy if you have a steering wheel which good force feedback. Just gonna be feeling those vibrations during the braking, and it's just very hard to control sometimes. Alright, so we see let's have a car in the pits. That's our Jazz Whitfield. Again, racing for Elite Tape. On board Sanabria, who's chasing his friend here, Juan Orrego from Uruguay. So we have a mixed field here. I can go to the nationalities. Let's do that quickly here. So Josh Mills from the US. We have Ezequiel Montero, he's from Argentina. Argenis Riera from Venezuela. Jean-Pierre Lalancette, he's from Canada. Aaron Rabi, also from Argentina. Ora Costa, he's from the US, but he drives for the Dominican Republic. Matt Harto from Great Britain, but he lives in Canada. Darren Fisher, also Canadian. Richard Walcott from Bermuda, the one Bermudan in the field. Juan Orrego from Uruguay. Let's go on board. Alejandro Sanabria from Argentina, Jacobo Cardoso from Venezuela, Sotiris Stergiou from Greece, Juan del Castillo is from the US but originally from Colombia, even though he doesn't like to admit it. Bill Worrell, he's from the US, Tony Mitsalis, he just retired from the race, we'll look at the replay shortly, he's from Greece. Sean Higgins from the US. I had to make a correction in the mod because I was showing him as a Canadian driver. Yes, Whitfield, I think he's from the US. I'll have to verify that. And Glenn Cooper, also from Great Britain. So let's see if we can take a look at the replay and see what happened. Oh, I see a crash. Let's rewind slightly. So Tony Mitsalis went straight to the wall? What? That usually means there's some type of lag or some issue with the hardware when you go just straight into the wall like that. Alright, apparently my lovely daughter doesn't want to go to sleep. We are on spring break here, and yep, it's like 10:30 at night, and she's like, okay, now this is still enough time to be playing, so where's daddy? Where's daddy? Daddy is doing a live stream. Alright, let me see. They have some issue with the light in the room. Okay. Let's see if I can turn that off from the phone. Hopefully we're not gonna miss. Let me actually, before I do this, let's see if there's some fight going on there I can show you guys. Yes, Sanabria and Orrego, there we go. Alright, I think I got it off. Okay, going back here, we have Richard Walcott. Wow, this is setting up another multiple fights here for P8. 4 cars racing for P8. I thought we were gonna have a new driver tonight, Keiter Bautista. He's a former racer here. I mean, he started back when we got to know Argenis Riera and Ezequiel Montero in 2015, if I remember right. He was very fast, also from the Dominican Republic, but then I don't know what happened to him. He disappeared. So if we get to see him in this championship, that's gonna be interesting. He's a very quick driver. I have yet to put all the quickest drivers in the same season. So we have a few that are missing. Obviously, we have Ivan Georgiev. He was very fast. Corey Mackey, also very fast. So if we had all those fast guys in the same season, it would be epic to watch. And I wish we had Richard Walcott on full force, you know, not skipping races or you know, work trips or vacations. That would be like a a fight for 1 point, I'll tell you that. Alright, so the gap right now is 4 seconds only between Josh Mills and Ezekiel Montero. Let's go back here with Sanabria. Look at the 4 cars here fighting for P8. Everybody's chasing Richard Walcott, who has yet to make a pit stop. Let's not forget that we are on lap 33 and he has yet to pit. Defending with everything he's got. Let me make sure that's actually accurate, but yeah, I see him with 0 stops, and you know who else has 0 stops? That's Otto Acosta here in P6. So he knew from the beginning he was gonna have to start climbing because he was starting in P19. Now what happened to Walcott was something different. I mean, he started in P5 and dropped all the way back. So the 2 cars, okay, so we have Ezekiel Montero switching to the C1, so 2 stopper for Montero. He's gonna be, let's see how far behind after everything synchronizes. So there's Jean-Pierre Lalancette. He's gonna be glad that he's right ahead of him. Okay, so let's wait for timing to synchronize everything. So so far it's showing in 27 seconds behind Josh Mills. So the actual delta here is longer. It's about 22 seconds for a pit stop. 22, 23 seconds, something around that. We have Acosta finally making his stop. He put 34 laps out of the C1s. So yeah, they can definitely go long. Sure, I'm gonna hear some commentary about that in the interviews. Very long stop here for Jas Whitfield that normally indicates some type of damage repair. I wish we had the pit crew, but this game doesn't show that. Cater is watching the race. No, we didn't screw you up. You just have to show up and make all the laps and wait to see if there's someone missing. So yeah, just practice for Jeddah and we'll see if somebody's missing and we'll put you there. I'm sure you're gonna be up there in the lap times. Okay, let's see again. Go back to this train of cars. Fight for P8, for P7 actually. So now Acosta, after his pits, is moved up this group of cars. Look at Sanabria. Sanabria's gonna make a. Okay, that was a move there. Everybody overtaking Darren Fisher in the Sauber. Start keeping an eye here on the gap between Montero and Josh Mills. They're completely different strategies than Argenis Riera. Argenis Riera is now ahead of Ezekiel Montero by 9 seconds. So if Riera is going for a one-stopper, then it's gonna be comfortable for him towards the end. Meanwhile, let's put the extended battle information. Juan Orrego, well, Walcott still with the used tires is 2.1 seconds ahead of this group. So they were catching him, but for some reason they're slowing down and unable to make the pass on the Williams driver. Montero sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:29.3. 5/10 quicker than the other lap from Josh, but Josh Mills is in P2. So he's just, I suppose he just made a pit stop. Let's rewind. Yeah, there he is, diving into the pits. Now, will this be another set of softs or are there going to be another set of mediums? I'm expecting the mediums. Alright, quick pit stop there from Josh Mills, and yep, he's running the mediums. At least for now. Now, leading the race, are Janis Riera, who we suspect is on a one-stopper, considering he's started with the mediums and then switched to the hards. Now, I'm wondering if he made the pit stop too early. It's gonna be with worn tires towards the end of the race. And now the gaps are smaller. I mean, we have Ezequiel Montero 3 seconds behind Josh Mills, with those tires up to temperature compared to the Red Bull driver just came out of the pits. And he's gonna start finding some traffic ahead. Look at the two cars are visible in the same frame. Let's go back to the usual fight that we have going on here between Fischer, Sanabria and Orrego. Okay, driver in the pits, that's Jean-Pierre Lalancet. Just gonna switch from the mediums, maybe to another set of mediums. It's killing all the other pit crew along the way. The invisible pit crew. Okay, let's see where Lalancet comes out from. P6 so far behind Matt Harto, but some clean air ahead and clean air behind, so yeah, time for Lalancet to start putting, you know, all the fastest lap times. Alright, what else? We have Fischer again. Sanabria, looks like Sanabria finally make the pass. Let's have a look at that pass. Actually, Sanabria was already ahead, so forgive me about that. Let's see. Well, it's still going on. I mean, these two cars, maybe Fischer's gonna make the pass on Sanabria this time. Orrego, Walcott still in P7. Okay, we have yellow, sector 1. Any movements? Okay, we have a spinning Juan del Castillo, probably. Yep. What's happened to Juan del Castillo? I don't know why this replays had to lag so much. Oh, okay, so normally that's a sign of some hardware issue, some stuttering or computers locking up. Yeah. Oh wow, that was a near one for those two guys. That was probably Bill World, and I didn't get a catch of the other one. Okay, so Del Castillo seems to be back again. We have Harto in the pits, coming out with the hard compound. Fischer also in the pits. We have yet to see Richard Walcott out of the pits. Okay, Fischer, mediums. Not sure the pit garages are in order for this track. Alright, he's coming out right in front of Sotiris Stergiou. Up ahead we have a purple sector 2 for Josh Mills, who's catching Argenis Riera. He's 3.2 seconds behind. Definitely going quicker than Ezequiel Montero. He did a last lap around, he did a 129.6 and Mills did a 129.2. Riera is lapping on 130.3, so 1 second slower than Josh Mills. Here we go again, Sanabria chasing OWTO Acosta for P8. Let's remind you that Sanabria had a podium finish in Australia, but Japan wasn't too good, and this is looking similarly to Japan. Okay, Juan Orrego. Okay, finally we have Richard Walcott in the pits from P6. He's gonna come out way behind, I suppose. Starting to drop down the order. There's traffic ahead, I think, yeah, that's Cobo Cardoso. Some P11 so far for Richard Walcott. He put on the softs. Yeah, so he's good to go to the end, even with the softs. Alright, so well, he came out P11, Matt Hartow's favorite position. So only one more place to gain, and then he's gonna be in the points. So Sotiri Sturgeon stopping for Ferrari. He's in P13, so both Ferraris are out of the points currently. Oh, Aaron Rabi, DNF. Let's see what happened to Aaron Rabi. Was that a crash or a stutter? Oh, out of nowhere. Wow, that was probably a disconnection. And now Josh Mills is within the DRS from Argenis Riera. This is for the lead. So we're seeing a message here that Sim crashed. That was Tony Mitsalis. That's how it happened. So it went straight to the wall. So yeah, that's the indication of the game crashing. And maybe that's the same thing that happened to... Oh, we have Cardoso in the pits again. He was just there ahead of Richard Walcott. This was some kind of mistake, or let's have a look at the replay to see if he has some issue. Can never tell if the wing is completely on. Yeah. These models don't show the front wings falling off entirely when there's some crash. Well, he's going straight to the pit, so I'm not really sure. Maybe he had some type of penalty, but it didn't look like from the onboard. Alright, let's go with the lead fight. We have half a second between Josh Mills and Argenis Riera. Right, so it looks like we have Aaron Rabi back with us, but he's in the garage and he's sitting in P16. Not really sure if he's gonna go out again. But let's watch this fight. This is for the lead. Look at Josh Mills taking the lead of the race. Let's see if Argenis Riera... Oh, bumping each other. They bump each other. Argenis Riera not giving it away that easy. Great racing. So this only benefits Ezequiel Montero, who's 3.5 seconds behind these guys. Let's see if he can get back to this fight for the lead. And Josh Mills is clearly the fastest car on track right now. And he has some advantage as well. I mean, his tires are faster and they're also fresher than Argenis Riera's C1 compound. Another pit stop for Sean Higgins. So we have Sanabria in the pits, so that puts an end to that fight that we're watching. And that brings Richard Walcott into the points once again. Orrego right behind Acosta. We're gonna have to be switching between a few fights here because Josh Mills is chasing Argenis Riera once again for the lead. Let's watch what happens in the DRS. There's Mills This time looks like he has a bigger gap, but Janis Riera can extend it into the braking zone, and he does the same trick again. So maybe next time around, Mills is gonna have to take the long route and set up for an overtake into this corner. Yeah, this is helping Montero, who's right there, was visible there. He's 2.8 seconds behind Mills. This is great to see now towards the end of the race. We have 14 laps to go, lap 43 of 57. Well, look at that, Otto Acosta, 14 positions gain. He's running in P5. So this would be a great finishing for him. We have Juan Orrego in the pits. There we go. Let's see if this moves up Richard Walcott. Let's go back to the fight. I don't want to miss what's happening up front. Because we're going to have again the main straight with the DRS. Let's see if Mills does something differently, because Argentina has pulled the same trick twice. So Orrego came out, he's in P9, so Walcott is in P7, so that long stint is paying off for Richard Walcott. It's a long recovery from that start. Okay, so I think Mills is setting up for pass on the next DRS, but he needs to get closer than that. Well, the Williams somehow managed to recover, and they are now running in P6 and P7. That's great to see, even though they started in P3 and P5, but still that would be double points for the Williams team. They only have 2 points so far in the season. So the pit rotation went by, and we still have Sanabria and Orrego fighting each other. They are both within the points. And Cardoso was having a good race, but that unexpected pit stop, which I think had to do with probably a speeding penalty or some type of penalty, because he pitted right in front of Richard Walcott. Right back with the lead. Yeah, Mills needs to be careful now, because he's running the mediums, and I mean, they are fresher than the C1s from Riera, but he could definitely overdrive the tires, and then he's gonna have some issues. Here we go again, the same move. There's Riera on the inside, so oh my god, this is great racing between these two guys. So Riera, again, Riera is a 5-time champion here at SimRacingHub. He knows what to do in this position. But Mills definitely the quicker of the two. Now right behind, it's Ezequiel Montero. Is now 2 seconds behind. Oh. Okay, so some lag going on, or okay, looks like everything's fine again. Let's see where's Montero. It always worries me when these things happen, especially when I'm running with Montero or Riera, South America with the internet connections. Every time I see those cars floating in the air like that, it means there's something wrong going on. So yeah, I think something wrong with Montero last time we were watching, because he goes about half a second. Right, there's traffic. You can probably hear the screams from here. Here we go again. Lap 46 of 57. Too far, but now he needs to. This is where Mills needs to get close and have the best exit possible here. Okay, so here, this is where he has to make the move now. This is your chance here, Mills. Oh, goes extended on the braking. But look at that defense from Janis Riera. Wow, this is some great driving. Riera really making Mills work for this. Montero right there waiting. He's just waiting for something to happen. Remember, he was leading the race at some point. Here's another DRS. I'll probably be missing other fights going on, but this is for the lead of the race. Orrego is catching Fisher, and Sanabria is also catching Orrego, so yeah, so we're gonna have a three-way fight for P8 once again, like we were watching at the beginning. Janis Riera has some great top speed, because if you can, you know, even with the DRS, Mills is unable to get by. I mean, remember that Riera doesn't have DRS. Maybe Josh Mills is recharging the ERS for an overtake. Okay, so he's trying the inside this time. Looks like this time, yep, this time he's able to pull it off. So let's see if he can keep Riera behind. Oh, okay, so that's gonna make it easier. Now, where's Montero? Okay, Montero is gonna be attacking Argenis Riera soon. Some tire sliding into the turn there. There's Riera, and now Riera is, it looks like he's outside of the DRS zone. Yes, the DRS is not open. So now we can expect to see Josh Mills just pulling a gap quickly. He's already 1.5 seconds ahead of Argenis Riera. And Ezequiel Montero is just catching Argenis Riera. They both have the same tire compound, but one has a lot less life than the other. Argenis Riera, he's nursing these tires to the end of the race. Yeah, that was a very good pass by Mills. He had to come up with something special, because Argenis had his number into turn one for sure. Okay, so I guess this is the next one to watch. These two guys, nemesis of each other here, Argenis Riera and Ezequiel Montero. Montero trying to win, I think, his fourth championship. Very fast driver historically. He was away for a couple of years, but then got his mojo back. You know, the itching hands. It tends to happen. I've been there before. The one I haven't seen missing anything was Argenis Riera. He's just season after season. He's here. He's trying to teach everybody how to drive and how to win championships. But here we go. Another DRS. Riera has clearly a better exit on the corners, and that has been his strong suit after all these years. He can slam on the throttle there and just pulls away very much compared to the rest. You can see Montero is fighting this card a little bit. Maybe he's not liking the tires. You can see some sliding going on. Struggling with some oversteer. Top speed from Argenis is just amazing. He just pulls away from Montero. Alright, so DRS is open. That's why Montero is catching. So let's see how long this goes. Up ahead we have Mills already. 2.8 seconds, 3 seconds already ahead of Argenis Riera. So he was definitely holding the Red Bull driver. Any other fights going on besides this? We have Matt Harto getting close to OTTO, who had to start from 19th on the grid. So don't forget that. And Matt Harto had a false start, so these two had to climb back from the back of the grid since the start. Back with Montero and Riera. So they're putting pretty much identical laps, only 52 thousandths of a second slower for Montero last lap around. And that's probably because he's just relatively stuck behind Riera, so we'll see what happens. He's under half a second now, so he's gonna have DRS very close to our Janis Riera. Let's see if he goes for it this time. No, but he's still far from Riera when it comes to the exit. It has to be a dive bomb, otherwise it's not gonna be easy to pass. And I guess Montero is remembering what happened early on in this race. He's wondering if Riera is gonna make the same type of mistakes and nudge him off and make him spin. Oh! Oh, no. That's immediate revenge from Ezequiel Montero, but you saw a piece of the front wing falling off. So that's gonna be it for Ezequiel Montero. He's gonna have to go into the pits and change the front wing. So maybe this opens the door for Jean-Pierre Lalancette, who's 35 seconds behind Ezequiel Montero. Wow, that was some touch there. I guess there's some bad blood going on here between Montero and Argenis Riera. There's probably going to be some strong words going on in the chat room at the end of the race. So well, that just makes life easier for Josh Mills. He's now comfortable ahead, 7.4 seconds ahead of Argenis Riera. Well, Riera, one thing that Riera needs to do right now is make sure he builds enough of a gap because he might get reported to the stewards for what happened early on in the race, and it could be a time penalty, a 10-second penalty or something along those lines, but it's probably not going to matter because now Ezequiel Montero needs to go into the pits, and this is going to be at least a 12-second stop for a new front wing. The question is, will Jean-Pierre Lalancette be able to sneak in and get into the podium once again? Oh, look at that. I mean, he couldn't even stop at the right location. So, oh my God. Well, this is the chance now for Jean-Pierre Lalancette to get the podium. There it is, Jack lifting the car, so they're changing the front wing. And right now, Jean-Pierre Lalancette on the main straight, he sneaks into P3. Getting the podium is going to be almost the same finishing positions as in Suzuka, but we have Argenis Riera in P2 rather than Ezequiel Montero, who just finished repairing his car. Well, things are going south very quickly for Ezequiel Montero. He's now in 6th place. Went from P3 to P6 in one lap just because of that touch with Argenis Riera, who he got the the unlucky side of things, breaking the front wing. And look at who's in P4 and in P5, the two drivers that had to go from the back of the grid, moving up almost to the podium. So wow, what an ending we're gonna watch here. Maybe Acosta is gonna make a move on Matt Hartle. We'll see. There's some traffic ahead. Let's keep an eye on this. This is probably the only fight we're gonna watch from now until the end of the race. I don't think Ezequiel Montero is gonna be able to come back from a 12-second deficit. This is actually the smallest gap we have on track right now between these two drivers. Let's see, lap times are about the same. Last lap around from Hartle 30.7, and so did Acosta 30.7 for both. Alright, well, what a gift there for Jean-Pierre Lalancette. He's making his way back after a dismal start of the season in Australia. I mean, he had a horrible beginning, but just put your head down and then just focus on driving and not crashing into the walls. And you see what happens. I mean, now you're in the podium. Alright, let's see the gap from, well, Montero Montero is now 14 seconds behind Acosta. I wonder if Richard Walker is going to be catching Montero soon. Well, I'll tell you something, this is hurting Montero's chances in the championship by a lot. I mean, Mills and... Oh, and now he spins! Montero spins. I wonder if he has some suspension damage. He's gonna retire. Montero's gonna retire from the race right now. He's in P6, but I suppose, yeah, there is a DNF for Ezequiel Montero. Wow, so that's gonna be 25 points clear for Josh Mills, who's now probably hitting that cruise control button on the steering wheel and just wait until the end of the race. Only 4 more laps to go. Wow, what a turn of events here with Ezequiel Montero. I did not see that one coming, so yeah, well, this just makes the championship more interesting now, because Argenis Riera is going to take a huge chunk of points from Ezequiel Montero, but Josh Mills, man, right there, leading the race, 10 seconds clear of your defending champion Argenis Riera. Some traffic ahead. Blue flags, penalty for Aaron Rabi, that's that McLaren. He got penalized by the game for ignoring the blue flags, but doesn't matter, he's right there in P16. So he will go into the pits once again and just maybe lose another position, we'll see. But yep, 10 seconds clear of Argenis Riera in P2. And then we have 40 seconds behind Riera. We have Jean-Pierre Lalancette to round up the podium. Meanwhile, Matt Harto has been able to pull a gap from Acosta. He's 1.7 seconds clear of the Alpine driver. And then we have Richard Walcott 18 seconds behind Oro Acosta. Juan Orrego, who was fighting for P8 for a while, but after the retirement from Ezequiel Montero, that actually puts him in P7. And then Sanabria is going to be the lone Mercedes tonight. It's scoring points. Well, I mean, they are going from P1 in the championship probably to P3 or P2 after this result. Red Bull is definitely moving to the lead of the championship with both cars in the podium. Then we have Darren Fisher in P9 for the Sauber team, and Jacobo Cardoso getting the last point so far. We have 2 more laps to go. Yeah, there's a car diving into the pits. That would be Aaron Rabi gonna serve his, I wonder if it's a stop and go or drive-through penalty for ignoring the blue flags. Okay, so Montero's still ahead of Rabi. Well, that's not gonna be for too long. So yeah, it was a drive-through penalty for Aaron Rabi. He's gonna come out in the same position he went in P16. Alright, meanwhile, Alejandro Sanabria fighting Juan Orrego for P7. The only gap that we have right now, under 1 second, and Sanabria has a DRS. Pretty sure Sanabria got the message from Toto Wolff saying, well, our other driver had to retire from the race due to some unusual driving. Now it's all on you. You gotta score the points for the Germans. Oh yeah, Josh is gonna enjoy this one. 11 seconds clear of Riera, but granted, I mean, he had zero issues. So very smooth race for Josh Mills. Gonna have to be asking some questions to Argenis Riera for those couple of incidents. But there's Sanabria on the inside. This is for P7. It's just a lovely set of turns there. I mean, it allows you to defend and then attack again. Just great design for this track on those initial turns. So Sanabria makes the move. He's now in 7th place. But still too far from Richard Walker. Let's just keep an eye ahead on Don't want to miss a checkered flag. Of course, this is lap 56 of 57. We are almost at the end of the race. It's been a long race so far, but it's been filled with events and overtakes and a few retirements. I mean, a few of them were related to the hardware, and others, like Montero, was coming down to driving. I think he had some suspension damage. That's what I believe of what happened. You can repair your suspension, but it takes a lot longer than just fixing the front wing, so I'm sure that's what happened to Montero. Alright, lap 56, almost the last lap of the race. And Orrego is now setting up for an attack against Alejandro Sanabria. This is probably going to be on the last lap. There's the DRS. And we are about to start the last lap of the race. He's probably being waved the white flag. This is it, lap 57, last lap of the race. So Sanabria and Orrego are the last cars on the same lead lap. So Orrego is going to have a chance. I mean, he has another DRS on the main straight to see if he can pull this off. Sector 1 already covered by Josh Mills. And these two are, well, it looks like Sanabria is managing to keep the gap. And it's probably going to end this way. There's Josh Mills negotiating that the devilish hairpin in here in the Sakir. Let's see, it's only 7/10 between these two. Waiting for the timing and scoring. Alright, so Mills already crossed Sector 2. We are about to finish the race, but these two are gonna go at it. As soon as we get the winner here, we're gonna have to go with Sanabria and Orrego. They're gonna have basically a full lap to finish this. So whoever is behind. So here you go, your second time winner, Josh Mills for Red Bull. Very well done by the American driver. Now leading the championship after that retirement from Ezequiel Montero. So he ended up winning 10 seconds clear of our Janos Riera. What an incident-filled race. Alright, so let's go back to the other fight that was going on. This is the last few turns before the end of the race. Most of the drivers have already seen the checker flag. Alright, it doesn't look like Orrego is gonna go for an overtake this late on, although there's some traffic ahead. Sanabria is actually catching Richard Walcott. Walcott has been notorious for running out of fuel in the past, so maybe this has to do with that. I think Walcott must be nursing some issue with the car, because he had a comfortable lead ahead of Sanabria. But now Sanabria, oh my god, Sanabria might be able to pull something off on the last few corners. Remember, the race is not over between these guys. It's gonna be too far. I don't think he's gonna be able to make it. Here we go, Sanabria, let's see. Nope, not close enough. I guess the DRS. Walco had DRS from that backmaker there. Well, that's it. I guess that's the end of the race. We'll go through the results quickly. Let's wait for the cars to get back into the pits. Here's your race winner, Josh Mills. There you go. Have a good look. Look at that, the beautiful skiing job on the steering wheel. There we go, Josh. Running the Max Verstappen helmet. There you have it, car number 13, lucky 13 for Josh Mills, race winner. Alright, let's see, I gotta find a nice angle here for... There we go, this was good enough, so let's go over the current results. Let's see, okay. So, race winner, we have Josh Mills for the Red Bull team. In second place, we have our Janis Riera for the Aston Martin. Aston Martin finally on the points. Jean-Pierre Lalancette scores another third place finish, consecutive one for him. He's in P3, and Matt Harto in P4. What a recovery from Matt Harto. Starting in P3 and then jumping the start, but he got all the way back up and he finished there in P4 for Williams. Oro Acosta, who started in P19. Don't forget that. He started in P19 and he finished in P5. So great result for OWTO Acosta. Richard Walcott, who was struggling at the beginning as well, he also managed to get a nice scoring here in P6 for Williams, so double points for Williams. Alejandro Sanabria in P7 representing Mercedes tonight after that retirement from Ezequiel Montero. Juan Orrego in P8 for the first first McLaren in the list here. He's in P8. Darren Fisher, who was fighting left and right against Orrego and Sanabria, he managed to secure 2 points for Sauber. And then last car to score a point was Jacobo Cardoso. He gets a point on the day after his birthday. So that's it, 1 point for Haas. Then out of the points we have Sotiris Stergiou for the Ferrari running number 96 there in 11th. Bill Worrell, who did a stop probably on lap 122, he's there in 12th place for the Racing Bulls. P13 belongs to Juan del Castillo in the other Haas. 14th place for Sean Higgins, who had a few passes through the pit lane. Not really sure, he had some speeding penalties, and who else? And then Jas Whitfield, the last finishing car, he's in P15 for Racing Bulls. And then for the retirements, we have Aaron Rabi for McLaren in P16. It all went downhill after that incident he had. Looked like a computer crash or something. Had to retire and then rejoin the race. And then Ezequiel Montero, who had some tough luck tonight with Argenis Riera. He's probably going to be fuming at him in the chat room. We'll learn some more for the next race for sure. He's in P17, retired. And then Tony Mitsalis in P18, who was racing for Dejan Kovacic tonight for Ferrari. And last tonight is Glenn Cooper, who was pretty much invisible during this race. He's in P19. Alright, so let's see if we can get some of the drivers to join us for the press conference. Alright, so we have, let's see, I get Jean-Pierre Lalancette and Josh Mills. Let's start dragging them to the... I can never get this going with Discord for some reason. Alright, so Josh, go. I can't drag drivers. This interface is lovely. Okay, so there's Jean-Pierre Lalancette here in the interview room. Now we have Josh Mills, and we are waiting for Argenis Riera. Let's see if he comes in here. But we can get started with you, Josh. Congratulations once again, dominating the field. It actually, well, I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. All right, great. So yeah, I mean, the complete domination tonight. I guess you also got a little bit lucky when the Argenis Riera and Ezequiel Montero touched each other during the first few laps of the race. But talk us through your race. What happened?
Well, we went for the aggressive strategy as a team, so we ended up starting on the softs, and surprisingly, I don't know if those guys in front of me were, saving tires or something, but I was gaining on them, and then I guess Riera decided to put his foot on the gas, and they collided, avoided them, and kind of from there, I was like, all right, let's go stick to the plan. It worked out.
Yeah, and then later in the race, I mean, they were fighting each other. I mean, you really had to go for that pass multiple times against Argenis Riera. He was making your life impossible there, but great pass. I mean, you did it at the right place. He had to be something special to make his pass.
I couldn't believe his his old tires were holding on like that. It's so hard to pass at Bahrain, even with DRS. And yeah, I just was like, all right, I'm just gonna try something at turn 4 and stuff.
Yeah, and then later on he got caught up by Ezekiel Montero, and then they touched again, and Ezekiel lost his front wing, and then it just went downhill for him. Ended up retiring from the race. I suppose he had some suspension damage. So yeah, yeah, going to you.
I was wondering whose it was.
Yeah, going to you. So yeah, congratulations, Jean-Pierre, once again in the podium here, P3.
Thank you very much.
Taking the cake out of Ezekiel Montero.
Exactly. I'll take it with 2 candles.
So how was your race? I mean, you were sitting back comfortable there at P4, and then all of a sudden things go your way.
Yeah, for me it was pretty static race, you know. I was just taking care of my tires, keeping my position, trying not to make any mistake, get out of the track, and just follow the strategy, and it worked out. But I didn't have too many fights or anything. Maybe 2 at the beginning, and then it settled down. I just follow.
Well, it worked out at the end, for sure.
Exactly, that's the result.
All right. I'll move you guys back. Josh, I don't know if you have any other last words to say. So yeah, congratulations once again. Now you are formally the leader of the championship. You guys were stuck in points and stuck in second places, but now you're well ahead of Ezekiel Montero. So congratulations.
Yes, yep, we're happy.
All right. All right, so with that, let's see. We have, let's see, where do we go next? We go to the schedule here. As I told you multiple times during the broadcast, we are going to the Jeddah circuit in 2 weeks' time, and that's going to be probably the last broadcast. I'm probably gonna skip the one after that because I'm expecting another baby who's due on May 7. As you see there, that's the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So round 5, I'll definitely be out. So yeah, we have 2 weeks to take a rest here, and some drivers will be recovering from this one, Ezekiel. And yeah, we'll see you again from Jeddah in 2 weeks' time. So long, everyone.